and welcome to our 93rd Prize Day. Please join me and rise and welcome Brooks School's faculty. And now, the class of 2024. Please be seated. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, the faculty, the staff, the student body, and the class of 2024, it is my pleasure to welcome parents, guardians, grandparents, family members, friends, alumni, and alumni to our 93rd Prize Day. We are so pleased to be with all of you today. We are live streaming this event to many who are watching from home. With that in mind, I want to remind everyone to turn off and/or silence all cell phones in order to keep them quiet during the ceremony. In addition, if you are standing at the rear of the tent and/or are near any of the speakers that are catching in the live stream, we would appreciate you taking any conversation above a whisper to a distance far enough away so that we will not hear you here or at home for those watching online. And as those of us on campus enjoy this wonderful day, please take a moment and note the nearest way out of the tent in the highly unlikely event of an emergency. Finally, there will be a luncheon following today's Prize Day ceremony, and we hope all of you will be able to join us. On this beautiful place we are so privileged to enjoy with one another, it is appropriate to begin with our land acknowledgement. Namely, at Brooks School, we live and learn on land once of the Pennacook people, and we acknowledge their enduring presence. Today is Memorial Day. With this in mind, I ask that you join me in a moment of silence to honor Brooks School graduates and all who have made the ultimate sacrifice on behalf of this nation. Thank you. I would like to introduce those who are joining me on stage this morning. John R. Barker, class of 1987, President of the Board of Trustees. His daughter, Lydia Barker, graduated from Brooks in 2021. His daughter, Eliza Barker, graduated from Brooks in 2023. Mr. Barker. Rabina W. Egerson, Director of Admission and Financial Aid and 32-year veteran of the school's faculty. Mrs. Egerson. Andrea P. Hines, Director of Athletics and also a 32-year veteran of the school's faculty. Mrs. Hines. To parents and guardians of today's graduates, on Prize Day 5 years ago, I shared a startling realization that had snuck up on me when I was preparing remarks for the day. I was older than some of those 2019 graduating parents and guardians. How could that be, I wondered. So try to imagine how I'm feeling today, 5 years later, even more gray hair, with an even higher percentage of all of you well south of my station in life, and one graduating parent and alum who lived in my dormitory during my first 2 years working here. I think this probably puts me in some kind of grandparent category. It's all very unsettling. Nevertheless, and now that I safely qualify to live in an active adult community, I like to think that I've picked up a few things along the way, the benefits of my station in life. I don't know that what I have in mind qualifies as wisdom, but I have been working with parents and guardians of Brooks School students for a long time. I have been where you are today, on the verge of having a child graduate from this school. That said, I won't pretend to know what sorts of emotions are running through you this morning. For some, I suspect this is your first high school graduation. For others, you have been here and done that a number of times, perhaps, and there's probably a lot of you somewhere in between. Yet I'm confident you're feeling something, or some number of things today, in ways that are elevated, in ways that are not ordinary. I hope you are feeling a deep sense of pride in what your child and all members of this class of 2024 have accomplished through a disrupted educational landscape that none of us experienced as students. I hope you are confident in them and excited for what lies ahead in their lives. They are ready for whatever comes next. I would understand, because I've been there, if you're feeling some form of trepidation. How will this next step go? Will this next stop in their lives appreciate the gift they are getting? I would also understand if there's an element of loss swirling around inside you. I have felt that too, as this particular transition brings with it the likelihood that their presence in your lives will be less frequent than it has been. That part is no fun. At the beginning of this school year, I found my way to a piece in the Boston Globe written by Beverly Beckham, touching on what many parents and guardians are doing at that time of year, moving their children into college dormitories for the first time. The piece was titled, "I Was the Sun and the Kids Were My Planets." And she had written it years earlier when her friends' children were heading off to college, an experience she'd been through. Beckham wrote, and I quote, "I wasn't wrong about their leaving. My husband kept telling me I was, that it wasn't the end of the world when first one child, then another, and then the last packed their bags and left for college. But it was the end of something. I was the sun and they were the planets. And there was life on those planets, whirling, nonstop plans and parties and friends coming and going, and ideas and dreams, and the phone ringing and doors slamming. And I got to beam down on them, to watch, to glow. They'll be back," my husband said. And he was right. They came back, but he was wrong too, because they came back for intervals, not for always, not planets anymore, making their predictable orbits, but unpredictable, like shooting stars. Always is what you miss, end quote. Now, we like to think we are ahead of the game here at Brooks. Many of you have already moved your child into a dormitory. They are very well prepared for what is to come, and they do have cell phones, along with what will surely be a compelling case to remain on your family plan for the rest of your life. Good luck with that. I would offer, however, that what is ahead for all of you is different than what you've experienced to this point. It is hard to steel yourself for the leap all of them are about to take in their lives. The 2 moments when our children disappeared behind a dormitory door to begin their college careers will be with me for the rest of my life. It wasn't easy. Beverly Beckham's husband was right and wrong. They do come back, and yours will too. Not for always, maybe as comets more than planets, but surely in ways that will underline all that you have done so well to this point in their lives. And please know, you have done exceptionally well, steering these 88 young people in front of me to this moment. So if some form of angst is part of what you're feeling this morning, let it go. This group is ready to roll, and all of you have everything to do with that. With profound thanks for all the time and support they have invested in the school and their children's experience, I ask all of you to join me in thanking the parents and guardians of the class of 2024. Thank you. And now some thoughts about the school's faculty. I was sitting at our alumni induction dinner last week with a terrific group from this class of 2024, and a student sitting next to me asked a broad question about the school's future. Essentially, she was wondering how I thought the school would fare over time, with their long run as alums about to begin. What did Brooks School's future look like to me, she wondered. Well, this was not exactly what I thought we'd be discussing over dinner. It is a question I'm familiar with, asked from lots of different perspectives and open to lots of different ways of providing an answer. So I thought about it for a moment and then shared a two-part response that I'm betting has not been committed to memory by all at our table. The first part was my half-empty part, a real pick-me-up for the group. I emphasized that our school exists outside of the educational mainstream. We're part of a tiny percentage of the secondary school world in the United States. It costs a lot of money to operate our campus and employ the many people it takes to do it well. Venture capitalists are not lining up to invest in new schools like ours. Rational things, if you will. After succeeding and depressing the group into wondering whether we would still be around at their 5th reunion, I pivoted to what I feel overwhelmingly every day I'm here, and especially on days like today. I pivoted to the second part of my answer that always overwhelms the first part, the full and overflowing part. And that is a feeling of prevailing and gale force winds of all sorts at our back. My position permits me the privilege of seeing and feeling the whole community, to know the legions of people who give to the school in so many exceedingly generous forms because they believe in it and care so deeply about it. Belief and care that is rooted in their own experience, their child's experience, or the experience of someone dear to them. Perhaps this is the irrational part, but it is a wonderfully irrational part that has continued to propel the school forward for nearly 100 years. The venture capitalists would do well to bet on us. After the dinner was over, the question stayed with me. Along with many others, I'd spent a good bit of time with about 400 alums who were back for Alumni Weekend earlier this month. Lots of moments and meetings and gatherings that contribute to those prevailing in gale force winds I referenced. The Saturday evening event of the weekend was centered around honoring Bobby Crump Burbank and Doug Burbank, who gave 72 years of service to the school between them. Today's soon-to-be graduates know Mrs. Crump Burbank well. And while Mr. Burbank left the school for a new opportunity 4 years ago, he's been back teaching a math class this spring. He's right over there. They both took a turn at the microphone, sharing their gratitude with all who were assembled as we were trying to share ours with them. With ample warning, Mr. Burbank, in his own inimitable way, let all of us know that he had a lot to say, and also, in his inimitable way, turned the attention of the evening to dozens of other teachers and colleagues at Brooks, who he had drawn from over the course of his 34 years on the faculty, expressing his gratitude for all of them. As he rattled off name after name of former and current members of the faculty and staff, all of the alums in attendance cheered and recalled people who have mattered to them, people who still matter to them. I often wish that the events of Alumni Weekend could somehow be experienced by current students in ways that allow them to see the larger mosaic they are a part of, to feel the extent to which the school matters to so many throughout their lives. If my alumni induction dinner table had been able to attend Mr. Burbank's talk, I would have pointed at all that he said and explained that is why I have so much confidence about the school's future. That is why I'm bullish about Brooks. The rational concerns have no chance when stacked up against the experiences that envelop our students in ways that stay with them for the rest of their lives. I know it to be true because I see it and feel it all the time. It is also true that the genesis or source of what I see and feel is a whole lot of great teachers, great coaches, great advisors, great mentors, sometimes all wrapped into one, who have made this school and its students their life. My colleagues seated to my left, and the many who have sat there before them, are the sources and catalysts for the prevailing and gale force winds still to come. They have planted the seeds in this class of 2024 that will grow into lifelong care for the school by investing all of themselves in this terrific group, by doing far more than any job description outlines, by generating experiences this group has had together in and out of classrooms in ways that will hold. So if I could go back to the alumni induction dinner and answer that question again, I would say that as long as we have the kind of faculty that embraces the fullness of opportunities we have with students on this beautiful campus, the kind of faculty we have now, there is every reason to believe that Brooks School's best days still lie ahead. With all my colleagues have planted in this class of 2024 in mind, I invite all of you to join me in thanking Brooks School's faculty for all they have done to get us to this day. Thank you. The end of the school year brings with it an opportunity to present two prizes to deserving colleagues who are continuing at Brooks, and to thank a few for their extended service to the school ahead of exciting next steps in their careers. I will start with the William Dunnell Faculty Prize. The William Dunnell Faculty Prize recognizes an early career faculty member for excellence in teaching and notable contributions to community life. The chair of the English department, assistant head of school, and head of school determine the recipient. In this first year of awarding the William Dunnell Faculty Prize, we are pleased to present it to Sam Spicer. The Reverend George F. Vaught Prize. The Reverend George F. Vaught Prize, given by the Sededicati family, and awarded by the head of school to honor a member of the faculty who, in their first few years, has made special contributions to the school and exhibited notable professional growth. This year's George F. Vaught Prize goes to Michael Vincent Brucci. The end of every school year brings the bittersweet reality that new and exciting next steps in life are not limited to just members of the sixth form. This year, we would like to recognize 3 colleagues who have been here for a while and are poised to move on to exciting next steps in their lives. She arrived well into a distinguished career working in both boarding and day schools throughout New England. Over the course of the well over 2 decades she spent in these independent schools before coming to Brooks, she served as a department head, an English teacher, a successful coach at all levels, a dormitory parent and advisor, and a community service coordinator, among other things. Yet when we had a late departure from our college counseling office in the spring of 2016, her experience in that area led to a match that has served our school exceptionally well for the last 8 years. In addition to jumping right in and supporting what have now been hundreds of Brooks School students and families through the ever-increasing complexity of the college process, she has lived on campus, in and out of dormitories, coached in the field hockey, girls basketball, and girls lacrosse programs, taught when opportunity to do so has presented itself, supported advisees with great care and attention, and has opted in to any and all efforts we have undertaken to engage the school in our diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging work. She is a school person through and through, and the breadth of her experience has allowed her to reach and impact the school well beyond the confines of her job description. She is an exceptional college counselor, to be sure, but I think she's an even better human being. Good, kind, hopeful, grateful, and fully in touch with the privilege it is to work with young people at this stage in their lives. We've been incredibly fortunate to have her at Brooks. As she and her wife, Kathy, plan for an exciting move to Exeter, New Hampshire, and an opportunity in the Phillips Exeter Academy College Counseling Office, I'd like to invite her to the stage to receive a gift from the school and thanks from all of us for 8 wonderful years of service. Wendy Christina Brennan. It is difficult, nearly impossible really, to try to capture all that these next 2 faculty members have given to and done for the school over a combined 32 years of service. He arrived in the summer of 2007, 1 year after graduating from Bowdoin College, 5 years after graduating from Brooks School, and following 1 year, getting his boarding school career underway elsewhere. She arrived 2 summers later, a few years after graduating from St. Lawrence University, completing a master's degree there, and also getting her boarding school career started somewhere else. That they both landed here within a couple of years of one another, found their way to one another, started and raised their family on this campus, and poured every ounce of themselves into Brooks School life has to be among the greatest strokes of good fortune our school has ever known. I am prone to hyperbole. This is not that. In the fall, I had two separate opportunities to reflect upon the many contributions these two have made to the school while here. In his case, it was a talk at a huge gathering honoring his more than 2 decades in the boys' soccer program, primarily as head coach. In her case, it was writing in support of her candidacy to be Fay School's next head of school. I didn't do very well with the talk. I did better with the letter. Yet in both cases, I was attempting to convey what was and is in my heart. A deep and abiding appreciation for what they have done for the school, what they have done for me, and what they have surely done for so many in this class of 2024 and scores of students and colleagues whose lives they have touched. In addition to leading the boys' soccer program, he has worked in the admission office, taught history, served as dean of students, coached hockey and probably baseball, advised scores of students in ways that hold to this day, served as the Chase House dormitory parent since the building opened, energized the House Cup competition, found a lot of lost items all over campus, hid the elf like no one else could, and been a first-rate winter term teaching partner with yours truly. He has been an active proponent of all the DEIB work we do on campus, and he's even gotten his feet wet in development work. Her career started in the history department, where she was, is, and will forever be a truly extraordinary teacher. As happens with great talent, she quickly became chair of the department. It wasn't long before she was academic dean, then dean of academic affairs, and is now finishing her 3rd year as associate head for academic affairs. In all of these roles, she has led the ongoing implementation of our competency-based education program and the reshaping of our academic affairs team. She held the Holcomb Endowed Chair, oversees our Davis Fellow program, and somehow earned a master's degree in private school leadership at Columbia University in the midst of it all. She, too, is an advisor extraordinaire, has coached in the girls' lacrosse and basketball programs, lived in Chase House since its inception, and we owe our land acknowledgement to her winter term class. In the fall, I tried to convey to those assembled honoring his many years leading the boys' soccer program that the depth of his character has been both there and absolute from the day he arrived at Brooks as a third former in the fall of 1998. I noted that while the teams he coached were very successful on the field, I knew the game was just a medium for him, a route to the deeply meaningful relationships he enjoys with so many players and former players. I noted that absent faculty members like him, the school's wheels don't turn. His selflessness and humility are trademarks, and both have endeared him to this community in ways that make it very difficult to let him go. I emphasized that he personifies Brooks School at its best. In a futile attempt to write about all she has done and meant to our school to those considering her candidacy at Fay, I wrote the following. Through all of these roles and her meteoric growth as a leader in our school, her voice has remained a clear, informed, respected, and powerful one in all school conversations. Her integrity is second to none, and she's led the school to focus more intently on this school value in the classroom. Her investment in equity and inclusion work comes from the heart, and it matters deeply to her that she works and lives in a community seeking to foster full belonging for all its members. The combination of her deep intellect, remarkable work ethic, insatiable appetite for growth, and love for school and working with young people all adds up to the impressive educational leader she is and will continue to become. As it turns out, our school has been the beneficiaries of what I think many years down the line will be their opening act in independent school education. And what an act it has been. Well, hard to imagine, I do believe, even better days lie ahead for both of them, and how fortunate schools and students will be to draw from their talent, their commitment, and their principled approach to all that they do. They earned the Vought Prize just conferred to Dr. Brucey as a team 12 years ago, and as they prepare to pack up with Ainsley, Cal, and Millie, and make their way to all who await them at Faith School, where she will begin as head of school on July 1. I again invite them to the stage as a team to designate them faculty emerita and emeritus for their combined 32 years of exemplary service to Brooks School, Susanna Whitaker Waters and William Doubleday Waters. And now some words for today's graduates. For most in this class of 2024, their years here began in about as unceremonious a fashion as possible, taking a COVID test in the athletic parking lot. For many who joined the class 1 year later, with both vaccines in the picture and annoying variants still in circulation, we started with an outdoor chapel on this most magnificent of all boarding school lawns. A much nicer way to begin, and the source of a beautiful drone photograph looking down on all of us. Since then, and thankfully, we have shaken free of the restrictions and limitations that so compromised the way many in this class began their Brooks School careers. That beginning feels like a long time ago, and yesterday all at once. Yet I believe their beginning has a great deal to do with who they are today and how they have gone about all they have done so well while here. On a number of occasions over the past couple of weeks, I found myself in conversations with some of them recalling their first fall on the campus, navigating a new school, new people, a new schedule, and a pandemic all at once. That's a lot for a third former to sort out. They remembered hybrid classes, cameras, speakers, and technology malfunctions of all kinds. They remembered having 15 minutes between classes and abundant snacks everywhere you turned. They remembered tents and outdoor activities and time spent with one another under them. They remembered visiting days for parents and guardians in the fall, with yours truly staffing the entrance and reminding everyone to wear masks, stay outdoors, and avoid hugging. One talked about having spent the whole year online, attending a new school in the middle of the night from the other side of the world. Another talked about having checked in to begin her third form year and then learning that we were not going to let her leave until Thanksgiving break. Bit of a communication glitch in that case. Many day students in this class of 2024 boarded for part or all of that year. Some chose to stick around for all 4 years. In some, they had experiences here that were shared and unique, and those experiences connected them to their school and one another in ways that have taken deep root, in ways that I think will hold in them over time. The story of this class, however, is not how they endured that most acute of COVID years, but rather how they emerged from it, strengthening relationships and building momentum as they moved along. Their story is about how they leveraged a challenging circumstance at the entrance to their lives at Brooks in ways that fostered community and connection, and now has them headed for the exit with classmates they know will be with them for the rest of their lives. with faculty members they know will be in their corner for the rest of their lives, with a school that will be theirs for the rest of their lives in ways that are different than all who graduated from Brooks before March of 2020. They realize today's outcome starting here in a dense fog, and how they have done since then bodes well for what they will do and be in their lives. There is no question that the world they are heading into needs community builders. It can be daunting when we pick our heads up and look out to all that is around us: persistent inequity, political strife, an existential climate crisis, intractable world conflict, and authoritarianism on the rise, to name just a handful of themes that dominate the news. While solutions are elusive, engaging and trying to address them will not be optional for this class of 2024. These will be the challenges of their lives, and community builders will be in high demand. The good news is that there are many in this group of 88 seated before me. To confirm my good feeling about that notion, I went where everyone goes to confirm anything these days: ChatGPT. My question to the ChatGPT people on the other side of the screen: what are the characteristics of community builders? ChatGPT's response: community builders typically possess several key characteristics. Empathy. They understand the needs and concerns of community members. Communication skills. They're effective communicators. Inclusivity. They strive to create a welcoming environment where everyone feels valued and included. Vision. They have a clear vision for the community's goals and objectives. Collaboration. They encourage collaboration and teamwork among community members. Adaptability. They are flexible and able to adapt to changing circumstances or community needs. Resilience. They are resilient in the face of challenges and setbacks. Passion. They are passionate about the community they are building. Integrity. They act with honesty and integrity. Continuous learning. They are always seeking to learn and improve. When this set of characteristics popped up on my screen after asking the question, all 10 of them brought members of this class of 2024 to mind immediately. So if, like me, you sometimes find the weight the world is carrying to be overwhelming, take comfort in knowing that this class of 2024 has what it takes to make a difference, partially due to circumstances they've overcome, partially due to all they engaged in while here, and partially by seeing and knowing what community building work can yield. Before closing, I want to share some memorable moments and exchanges that come to mind when I think about this class of 2024. Taking in the 2 occasions when so many in this class celebrated their plans to continue athletic careers at the college level, an impressive array of sports, and an even more impressive group of people. I think I'm going to keep the prefect Barbie flag that was on my door earlier in the week, maybe the best school prefect prop in all of our 97 years. He gave an oratory talk that took a lot of courage to give and revealed a lot of courage in him. I think they set a record for most students in a Brooks School class to move on to the same college, 12 to Northeastern, hoping they might agree to host our Boston reception at some point in the coming years. They are so many wonderful groups of friends in this class. I think they'll be in one another's lives for the rest of their lives. After dazzling us on and backstage for years, they finished with 6 this spring and took our breath away. Broadway has nothing on them. I'm sorry to break this to him and anyone else in this class who's clinging to this foolish notion. LeBron James is not now, nor will he ever be, the equal of Michael Jordan. Just stop. The first of 3 head of school holiday pleas. In the fall of 2022, she wrote at 11:05 p.m., "I'm writing to ask if we could kindly have a heads holiday tomorrow. Seniors are in the midst of college applications. Athletes are coming off of tiring games, and everyone is in dire need of sleep and time off. I believe there is no better time to do this than this week, tomorrow." And the entire Brooks community agrees with me. The entire community at 11:05 p.m. for the next day? Come on. If nothing else, I'm hoping everyone in this class at least looks to the dew point first when trying to figure out the day's weather. Nothing else matters. Chapel talks all spring long that made us laugh, made us cry, and made us better. I'm still thinking about his talk on the importance of cultural humility. Their work pushed No Planet B's presence at our school to new heights. Well done. A number of you supported one another through the unimaginable loss of a friend. And the way in which you honor and hold his memory dear to your hearts will inspire me for the rest of my life. He wrote to alert me to a student realizing an impressive athletic milestone last year, 1,000 points in basketball. I just wanted to make sure he gets the recognition he deserves for being such a great presence, not only on the court, but off the court as well. That he wrote such a note says everything you need to know about him. When handing out certificates to this year's cum laude inductees, it was impossible to not notice the depth and range of impact that group has had on our school. What talent and commitment. He will be hosting a Rubik's Cube competition here on campus in July and can solve about 30 of them in less than an hour, blindfolded. The second of 3 head of school holiday pleas. In making a pitch for a day off after the Super Bowl, he finished with, "To quote what you told the other 10 prefects and me last Friday at first lunch, you said, if there were to be a snow day in February, I'd like it to be perfect. Perfection is subjective, Mr. Packard. To get as close as we can to perfection, we need rest. Is that so much to ask for? Signed, rooting for whatever team you're rooting for." The great group of Saturday night open house regulars. I'm still wondering if anyone really did sneak upstairs to check things out. In rallying many to join him for the boys' basketball game at Rivers, he wrote to his fellow students, "The green wave is going to Rivers. Get creative. We need the Hulk, the Green Lantern, aliens, dinosaur costumes, and maybe even a leprechaun." They delivered. If there is currently a more impressive exhibit of student artwork at any high school anywhere, I won't believe it. What talent. Well worth a walk through the Center for the Arts before you go today. The continually expanding concert series we are so fortunate to take in somehow got even better this year. So many superior musicians and singers in this group. Back-to-back titles for this softball team that plays for and enjoys one another with such incredible talent and spirit. Brooks at its best. When I wrote to say I couldn't make a prefect meeting, I got this in response. "We know you're super busy, so no worries at all. You are doing a super job. We hope we can meet with you before break, but if not, just know we have things under control. Go in peace and with love in your heart." What a group. The third and final head of school holiday plea. "Hello, sir. I was wondering if you can give me and my classmates a heads holiday on Monday and Tuesday. I'm a good person, and my birthday is May 3rd, so it can be an early gift to me. Remember, I'm a good person. Also, my time here at Brooks is coming to a close, and this is my dream. Please, please. Signed, Needy's friend. They hail from 13 states and 8 countries and have done well at leading the school through our 97th year. As they prepare for what's next, ready for both the foreseen and unforeseen, it is important that they know how very proud of them we all are. It is also important that they know this school, their school, will be here for them always. We hope that they will visit often, in body and mind, and we stand ready to do all we can to support them as they move forward in their lives. With community builders in mind and a want to finish with words that will resonate, I turn to the greatest community builder of them all, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I've shared this excerpt from Prize Days past, and I understand it to have been his final sermon in Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, delivered exactly 2 months before he was killed on April 4th, 1968. It is titled The Drum Major Instinct, and it speaks to what greatness really is. If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's your new definition of greatness. And this morning, the thing that I like about it, by giving that definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You don't have to know about Plato and Aristotle to serve. You don't have to know Einstein's theory of relativity to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics and physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love, and you can be that servant. Congratulations to the class of 2024. Good luck and Godspeed. And now I'm pleased to introduce the class of 2024 speaker, Julius Philip Mura Mwangi.
Good morning, everyone. 17 days ago, Mr. Packard pulled me into his office right before I was supposed to give an incredible tour to the 50th reunion class of 1974 with Jess and Tessa, and he asked me to deliver the Prize Day speech. Brooks has taught me a lot, but one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that when Mr. Packard asks you to do something, it's because he finds no reason as to why you shouldn't. So, I agreed. And I went back to my room that night and tried to write what I thought would encompass what the last 4 years have been for the class of 2024. As you could probably guess from this narration, I struggled. It's hard trying to group together 88 people whose only common traits include having some classes and sports together. Believe me, I tried. I realized, though, that I was thinking of common traits just as the things that pop up on our on-Brook schedules every day: classes, activities, affinity groups, and clubs. When I expanded my view outward and away from the objective ways in which we fill up our days, some common traits did begin to take shape. For example, it has been extremely evident that we work together well. On and off a field or stage, the collaboration within our class has been outstanding, enriching the Brooks experience one day, one step at a time. We know each other well by now. We understand each other across different classes and sports, and we've become our own family in which not much needs to be spoken for, a lot to be said. But one special thing that brought us together was the blessing in disguise that was the Brooks bubble. Most years, the Brooks bubble is the phenomenon of spending so much time on such a small campus that is somewhat set apart from the world outside our gates. When we began at Brooks, though, the Brooks bubble was the COVID meaning of the term. Once we were here, we couldn't leave, and we had to learn to get to know each other under some really intense circumstances. Whether you gave an online chapel speech like Julia Sanz Rios, or your computer lost Wi-Fi as many times as Alex Poulox did, COVID bestowed upon us the most irregular year of high school we could ask for. For some, it was a dream, others a nightmare. That year has been called many names. A good year, a bad one, an interesting one, or depending on who you ask, hell. Names are something that stick with us. Through various chapel speeches this year, we learned about the importance of origin, appreciation, and correct pronunciation of a name. No pressure. From birth to death, you tend to realize how much weight your name carries every day. I first came to this realization in an email chain back and forth with Mrs. Saunders the summer before freshman year when I was deciding whether I'd go by Julius or Philip for my next 4 years, a scarier reality the rest of my life. Of course, there was no right or wrong answer, but looking back now, I couldn't see a Brooks that had Julius the volleyball manager, Julius the theater kid, or Julius the paranoia game master. Could you imagine Olivia, not OJ, Ryan, not Shims, Matthias, not Miffy? It just makes no sense. Being a part of this class and this school has given me clarity to an identity that I was yearning to discover, an identity that has gone beyond the blocks that populate our on-Brooks schedule, and that has become a larger story of who we each all are and who we will be. I believe it has done something similar for the 87 of you. So that's what this speech is about, names. Freshman year, the boys' group chat was named The Cult. I don't know why, but stuck to some for a bit. Then sophomore year, I came up with The Plastics for my favorite group of cowgirls. And just a couple months ago, I came up with The Voices as an editorial comment on my favorite senior friend group. The class of 2024 has transformed in a variety of ways. From the color of Caroline Gay's roots to Arsha Sharma's vocal range, we've come a long way. But we all started somewhere, and today we celebrate the fact that that somewhere was together. When we first stepped on campus, with our masks and uncomfortably original TikToks we didn't know would haunt us to this day, our stories were just beginning. From there we separated, but not in the way you may be thinking. Yes, there were cliques and groups, that's just high school. But I'm talking about the way we diverged into the multitude of categories that Brooks has to offer. Some took their shot at athletics, some excelled in academics, and others, like myself, in the arts. When you hear the name of one of your fellow classmates, it is typical that really only one thing comes to mind about them. More often than not, it's what they do best. Take a look around, you'll see that. When you think of Luana, amongst other things, you think of how talented she was on the soccer field, or at the very least, her various features in the senior slideshow. Whoever is looking at Grant right now is probably picturing his incredible artwork hanging up on the Art Center wall or in the New York Times. One of the first things attached to my name was the story Kiara Mejia gave me on my mini-fridge-inflicted bloody walk down from Gardner to the health center, stating that I had fallen from my desk and she just happened to be on Main Street to help me. Sorry, Mom. It is within these parts of our core being that we have made Brooks special, Every single one of us, no matter if we've been here for 2 years or 4, has added to this community in a way that nobody has before and in a way that nobody ever will. Everything happens for a reason, and personally, I can't find a better reason to call this place home than all of you. As Mrs. Hines reminded us yesterday, Brooks is the smallest school in the ISL. Thus, many of us are forced to spread our talents through different areas. Coming to private school, we got a miniature taste of the self-discovery that college or any other plans beyond high school will give us. Understanding and taking risks built immense amount of character, like when Joelle and Timmy gave us their onstage presence that we never knew we needed. Opportunities like being on stage happen frequently here, yes, but it's only a matter of time before those onstage cameo ops turn into a semester abroad, a business idea, or even a class that you might take that could potentially help you in the long run. The extra miles you take do add up. Instead of idling away in a dorm room, a future with engagement, involvement, and pursuit of passion is one in which many of you will find solace and excitement. By choosing to embrace action over inertia, we adapt and become holistic, well-rounded people that we have been set up greatly to be. I've lived in Blake for 4 years now, and in doing so, I've learned quite a lot about the attention span of a Brooks student, so I'll wrap this up. As we continue through life, education, or even a junior hockey league, the world gets bigger and bigger, and in scale, you may feel small. Sometimes your name may be attached to a number or QR code that nobody looks at twice. However, as Brooks alumni, you have proven that over the time you have been here, that you are more than what you are on paper. Your radiance and poise present a standout person. You keep the Brooks name alive. Now remember, you only live once. Each risk we take in life, starting once we exit this tent, have our names attached to them. From now on, I urge you to not let fear or uncertainty hinder your growth. Situations in which there's only one way to find out are the ones that you can look back on and feel unique, feel individual. Be the Brooks grad who found that cure, wrote that book, sang that song, or won that medal. Your name and your legacy will thank you. Do so with grace and compassion, being a good Samaritan every step of the way. I can't say from this podium where I'll be in 10 years or where any of us will be in 30, but I can tell you that there's only one way to find out. To quote for the second to last time, and what made my friend Sylvia sob at the end of our final chapel last week, life is short, and there's little time to gladden the hearts of those who go the journey with us. So be quick to love, make haste to be kind, and may God, who knows you fully and loves you deeply, bless you and those you love. Go in peace and with love in your hearts. Congrats, guys. We're done.
And now 3 prizes. The Trustees Prize. The Trustees Prize awarded by the faculty to any member of the school community who has served beyond the call of duty. Like many of her classmates, she started here in the fog of the pandemic and found her way to what have been 4 unequivocally extraordinary years. Over the course of these years, she has left an indelible mark on everything she was a part of at Brooks. In the classroom, the combination of her capacity and curiosity have added up to a stellar academic record and a long line of teachers who loved having her in class. As a school prefect and leader, she managed to earn both the respect and appreciation of peers and the admiration of younger students she invested time in knowing and supporting. As an athlete, she's one of our most accomplished and is on her way to what will surely be a successful college career on the field and as a teammate of the highest order. Indeed, a colleague put it well in describing her as a top leader at Brooks, a role model in the classroom, and a phenomenal athlete. Beyond these impressive and perhaps more tangible parts of her life here, however, we've been equally impressed by what one colleague described as her gentle soul. While gentle might not come to mind when watching her organize players on a soccer field, we have all felt her decency, care for others, and care for community during these years. In her chapel talk earlier this spring, she spoke beautifully about goals and believing in one's ability to realize them with hard work and determination. She has realized hers. We'll realize more, and what a difference she's made here. I'm honored to present the Trustees Prize to Lana Keats-Gibbs. The Faculty Prize. The Faculty Prize given by George C. Haas and awarded annually to a student who has made outstanding contributions to the life of the school. When running through all that comes to mind when reflecting on this young man's contributions to the school over the past 4 years, I find myself overwhelmed with what he has given to Brooks. He has been everywhere all the time, and our school has been better for it. While he has done exceptionally well in the classroom, it is reasonable to wonder how he finds any time to do schoolwork with so much on his plate. He's been a school prefect this year and has done all he can to leverage this opportunity with community building in mind. He votes with his feet by always attending, always encouraging, and always seeking ways to energize school life. He's been on stage too many times to count, acting, singing, dancing, and sharing his talent with all of us in ways that hold. I don't know how many tours he has given to prospective students and families, but he ought to be on the payroll for the work he's done at sharing our school with those seeing and experiencing it for the first time. He has spoken in chapel a number of times and on a number of different occasions, providing openings for all of us to think about how we might be better. He has invested his heart and soul in doing his part to advance our diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging work. His advisor notes he's led well because he leads his peers with a palpable sense of love, with profound appreciation for the ways in which he has immersed himself in school life and enriched our lives in the process. I'm honored on behalf of the faculty to present this year's Faculty Prize to Julius Philip Mwaura Wangi. The Head of Schools Prize. The Head of Schools Prize was given in memory of George B. Case, Jr. 3 words surface for me when I think about this young man and all he has been and meant to the school during his years here: gratitude, character, and kindness. If you were in the audience earlier this spring when he was speaking about his Brooks experience to prospective students and families as part of a student panel, you would have felt his gratitude in ways that are not ordinary, genuine, deep, sincere, and wanting to be clear about his feelings for his school and all who are a part of it. He wears his love for Brooks on his sleeve in a way that is moving, inspiring, and entirely him. At some point in his 5th form year, he dropped by my office to catch up about something that was bothering him. He shared his view on the matter and what he hoped for. And all I could think of in the conversation was how lucky are we to have a student with his depth of character and integrity at our school. He does the right thing, always. And he's kind to the bone. There's no one on this campus he would not have time for if they asked. His successes and talents are too many to count, and his reach has extended from the football field to the stage to serving as senior prefect this year. Yet I bet if you ask teammates or castmates or fellow school prefects to talk about him, they would start with his kindness to everyone all the time. So as he moves on, certain to saturate communities he will be a part of in the future with gratitude, character, kindness, and so much more, I want him to know that the privilege of having him here has been ours. All of us who have drawn so much from him, I want him to feel our gratitude for what he has so generously and selflessly shared with the school in ways that will endure. Here is our chance. I'm honored to present the Head of Schools Prize to Joelle Miguel Morales. And now it's time for diplomas. Sophia Emmanuel Alvarez Backus. Kofi Boache Mensah. Cameron Ackberry Bradley. Joseph Finnegan Bucci. Julia Eileen Callahan. Bernardo Camino Garcia. Pawit Chankasiri. These are masks, if you're wondering what they are. Cade W. Ogden Chisholm. Yunsung Philip Choi. Jalen Judith Colon. Kylie Masters Correa. Catherine Miller Creevy. Tessa Catherine Dark. Jack Patrick Dawson. Matthias Luis Diaz. Eben Arthur Dooling. May Perrineau Eggleston. Hannah Judith Evans. Alec Morse Fidel. Sophia Ann Fortenberry. Caroline Carlton Gay. Sophia Harper Jenden. Sonakshi Gosal Gupta. Gordon Hayes Gibbons. Lana Keats Gibbs. Sophie Elizabeth Glantz. Scott Craig Gribel. Isabella Ann Hacker. Aditya Ashwin Hundy. Connor James Hurley. Olivia Aniela Homiller. David Jang. Fiona Jang. Adam Jin. Olivia Lynn Johnson. Ryan Timothy Kelleher. Rowan Neely Kennedy. Michael Nanga Kia. Catherine Maria LaLiberty. Ryan Hogan Leary. Gushwan Christina Liu. Caitlin Ann McDonald. Jacob Stephen Madden. Reagan Mary Mahoney. Jessica W. Mina. Joseph Mate. Marcello Anthony Maitino. Sylvia Rendell Marks. Molly George McDowell. Kiara Alexa Mejia. Zoe Georgia Milmo. Joel Miguel Morales. Grant Emery Moore. Scott Christopher Manning Moritz. Aiden Andrew Michella. Megan Catherine Mulvey. Timothy John Mulvey. Maria Milagros Munoz de Leon. Julius Philip Moura Mwangi. Gabriel C. Nwobi. Luano Lusako Nyondo. Needy Reddy Pillay. Jeffrey Zhenghui Pan. William Kirby Flum. Jacqueline Olivia Phillips. Darnell Oscar King Pierre. Emma Rachel Plant. Honey Elizabeth Plum. Julia Sanz Rios. Alex Joseph Sheezer Pulak. Arshia Sharma. Johan Shi. Ryan Mason Schimmelman. Ethan Sean David Simpson. Caroline Cristoforo St. John. Alexander Nicola Stanisha. Clark Delano Stroh. Haven Roosevelt Stroh. Miles Luyang Summerson. Gustav Szilard Sturman. Jack Rockwell Taylor. Celine Tekla. Catherine Rose Thompson. Diego Kisub Torrio. Zongshun Sai. Daniel Francis Valenti, Jr. Henry Terrence Walsh. Hillary Elizabeth Young. At this time, I'd like to invite the Reverend James D. Chapman to come forward to give the benediction.
Before the benediction, on this almost drippy graduation day, I have a few possibly drippy words to say to the class of 2024. I love this school. It's been a joy for me to be part of this community. And one of the things that I love is that since I started here, every year seems to be better than the one before. And every year, the graduating class seems to be the best one ever. And that seems particularly true this year. I've admired you for your energy, your smiles, your sometimes wacky humor, and especially for your spirit, your compassion, your caring for one another, your commitment to the school, your kindness, and the strength of your desire to be just good human beings. I love that about you. I love you all. Now, I've said that before, more than once in chapel, that I love you all. And I have a kind-hearted friend, a well-meaning friend on this campus, who once suggested to me that maybe when I say that I love you all, maybe I'm being a little drippy, a little naive, or perhaps even a little bit of a fool. When I was 18, 1-8, if somebody had suggested to me that I was a fool, I'd have been pissed. Now that I'm almost 81, 8-1, I take it as a compliment. Because these days, I kind of like the idea of being a fool. That is, if I can just be a fool for love. In the sense that I hope to be able to look at every person I meet and see deep within them the infinite love the infinite spirit of love that we call God or Allah or Yahweh or Brahman or Buddha or Tao or Wakantanka or Quetzalcoatl or any of 1,000 names. I hope to be able to see that spirit of love in everyone I meet and to be open and vulnerable enough to say, I love you. I love that spirit of the divine. I love that spirit of the divine that I see in you. I want to be able to say that and hopefully not get arrested. Or charged with being some kind of a weirdo. And perhaps even have my words heard and taken to heart. But if I come across as foolish, that's okay. I'm okay with being a fool for love. And my hope for all of you is that the moment will come in your lives when your heart opens and all defenses melt away, and you allow that divine spirit of love that lives in you to well up and fill you and overflow you, and that you will be overwhelmed and changed by a love beyond describing, by an infinite strength and joy and light, that light that has 1,000 names, one of which is God. And that you will find in yourself the fulfillment of the truth of the song that we've sung so many times in chapel. Seek first the kingdom of love. Seek and you will find. And then all the other things you need in life will be there for you. That's my hope and prayer for you. That's the hope of this rather foolish old fellow who loves you. And now, I want to invite all of you in the class of 2024 and everyone to join in the benediction we always use in chapel. And I want Philip to come up here and join me. Philip, come up here. Philip, you've already done this. I need all the help I can get. I need all the help I can get. So I invite us all to say the benediction that we all know by heart from chapel. Let's say it loudly as a blessing to one another for the time we spent together, as a blessing for our families, our friends, our teachers, our neighbors, and for everyone here who's here to support you and share their love for you. Will you do that? All right. My friends, life is short, and there is little time to gladden the hearts of those who go the journey with us. So be quick to love, make haste to be kind, and may God, who knows you fully and loves you deeply, bless you and those you love. Go in peace and with love in your hearts. Amen. God bless you all. I really do love you. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
As this Prize Day ceremony comes to a close, I ask that you all rise as the class of 2024 exits down the center aisle, diplomas now in hand, with applause ringing down from all of us. Congratulations to the class of 2024.